down with OTC? Down with OTC. OTC. Are you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Down with OTC. Down with OTC.
Hello, beautiful OTC family. You are here live on the chain. I am Chip, and that is Jeff right over there. What's up, Jeff? And we have a special guest tonight. We have Cristian Guity. Rhymes with, not going to say it. Not going to say it. Oh, okay, Jeff. Rhymes with Sweetie. There you go, Jeff. It just sounds better when Jeff says it. But anyway, welcome, Cristian. Good to have you here. Cristian is the founder of over on Clubhouse of the XRP Community Club. And we'll talk about that. That's actually where I met him in some really interesting dialogues we had over there. But we are going to talk about the fact that XRP is up over 400% on the year, which is insane. And can it go to an all-time high? Is it possible, even with this SEC v. Ripple? We're going to find out. Let's go.
When?
You didn't do it, Jeff. You didn't do the...
Right now.
And now, the roundtable with Jeff and Chip on the chain.
What is going on? Hey, I just gotta set the record straight. John Doe Crypto is saying the question is, will I be on time? Man, I was a few minutes late yesterday morning for the stream because the coffee wasn't ready yet.
Yes, you were.
And then Thursday night I showed up about 30 minutes late.
I think it was like 35 minutes late, Jeff.
35 minutes late, but I had a meeting that I was leaving to make sure we got to the stream. And
what about your microphone? Is your microphone?
I'm going with the old school bad sound quality microphone tonight.
Okay, good, because Christian came prepared.
Better way to go.
His camera's perfect. His
Microphone's
audio's perfect. I love when the guests are like, in there. So Christian, how are you, man? It's great. Great having you on the chain.
Awesome, man. So excited to be here with you guys. This is a great time. I know we were gonna do it earlier, and it just so happens that this is the time that we have to do it.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here with us.
Oh, that's better. Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, hello.
Got out of the tin can.
Check.
Beautiful. I love when
check.
that happens.
Hey, just a quick shout out to Crypto Mike for the super
Mike,
sticker.
by the way, man, I was Crypto Mike and I were doing a little bit of back and forth. I was sharing a fun little story with him. It was like cool to talk to him, man, because we've had him on the show. And thank you for that, Crypto Mike. Much appreciated. So, Christian, it's interesting because you were really one of the first people on Clubhouse really talking about XRP. Can you talk a little bit about how you came to the digital asset? Like, how did you find out about it?
Yeah, well, I got into crypto back in 2017. I started hearing about it around 2016, but I was skeptical. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, nah, I don't know about this. This is all digital, and honestly, I kind of had to get out of my own head about it. Talking to friends, they were like, listen, there's always gonna be new technology. Think about Uber, and Uber was something that resonated with me because I remember people mentioning getting cabs with an app on the phone, and I laughed because the way we would always get a cab was calling the base, giving them the address, and they would send a car over to the house. So clearly seeing the innovation. And I remember when Uber first came out, you would wait a while, sometimes 15 up to 20 minutes for a car. Now it's like instantaneous. So you think about the innovation that's happened throughout the years, and you forget about the time before Uber. Pre-Uber, it's kind of like a faded memory at this point. So crypto is going to be the future. We're early, but the fact that you can see it becoming mass adopted at a global level, and to take advantage of this opportunity, I think that it's one of those things that I can't stay quiet about. I got to share with my friends and family, plug people in that I care about, because I want to see them win at the end.
Hey, Christian, what an amazing comparison. I never really thought about plugging Uber into the conversation, but think about when Uber got started, especially in New York, because New York overregulates crypto, just as they overregulated Uber. New York made it extremely difficult for Uber drivers to exist because of the requirement to have limo license in New York City area. And so, I think the amount of insurance they required and other licensing, I'm not sure if they overcame all that in New York. Very similar to with crypto and the difficulties that crypto has to overcome, not just in New York, but other areas, obviously the whole country. And we're seeing it globally. But that overzealousness, the overreach of a regional, local, or national government, really interesting idea. What are your thoughts on kind of expanding on that where New York is presently, because that's where you're at?
Well, yeah, it's challenging over here. The regulations on crypto are insane. It's so hard for a lot of these exchanges to get bit licenses. So if you look at anyone in New York will tell you, we don't have a lot of options when it comes to exchanges. You got Coinbase, and then you're looking around the corner to see if you find someone else. So I know like Kraken, Uphold, yeah, you can create an account, but you can't trade. So it kind of like puts you at a limited spot. It is what it is. We just got to wait. I think once things take off in New York, we're going to see a lot of money funnel into the crypto market.
I think Uphold is going to be, I think they're really trying to get licensed there. I know they've been trying for some time. I know people I've seen it on their feed where somebody says, when Uphold in New York, and they'll say something to the effect of, well, we're working on it. Or, but just like anything, we're working on it. You get put in the queue, it could take a long time. One of the things that's been really cool that I've really enjoyed is, the XRP community now. It was interesting because I tried to put something up there about XRP in a community. It was hard to set up like a club, right? They call it a club on there. It was kind of difficult to do that. So when did you first start going on there talking about XRP?
So I got into XRP when it was like at 17 cents. And, that's when I really started learning more about the Ripple figuring out what are they doing, and then you know, knowing what you hold, right? Cross-border payments, learning about that, Nostro Vostro account. I mean, there's so much to the problem and the use case that XRP is solving. And I know, you know, you're going to have your people that are going to say, well, I don't really care. But if you understand the use case and how money is moved at a global level, I mean, that'll open your eyes immediately to say, yo, this is a great project. Like if they're solving this type of problem where, yeah, true, high fees, you know, money takes a long time to get from one place to another, especially since my family originally is from Honduras, right? So my mother sends money back home all the time. I know how mundane the process is, you know, and doing something that's going to make this instantaneous is actually amazing, and it's going to save a lot of money in the long run. So I'm actually really excited about the use case.
Awesome.
I'll ask you too. Like, do you think? Go ahead, Jeff. Take that.
I just a quick shout out to X Supercar P, which is actually
XRP
Supercar super sticker. Appreciate the support.
Now, when you got like, so you told friends and family about it, so they got an XRP. Now, when this lawsuit hit, did somebody your friends start calling you up or start like, you know, blowing up your phone?
Oh man, it didn't stop.
You told me about this. You told me about it. You totally misled me. They started like hitting the panic button.
No, I mean, look, I told them straight up. It's, you know, like, again, it's not financial advice. I believe in this project, but I always tell my people, do your own research, because at the end of the day, you know, every person has a different level of risk that they're willing to take with money that they can part ways with. When it comes to money, you know, that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. So trusting somebody to kind of say, hey, this is an opportunity that I think is going to benefit you in the long run. You normally go with people you trust when it comes to that conversation. So I did my research extensively. So the fact that I saw XRP as a great opportunity is why I shared it with friends and family. And now, you know, not here to just say I only have XRP. I have a diverse portfolio, but I'm super bullish on XRP. And part of that goes back to knowing what you know, the use case.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that you know, it's interesting. You get in 17. You were talking about being skeptical in 16 when you first saw it. What was that first interaction that you had within the day? I always think it's interesting how everybody came to crypto originally. You know, what were you looking for at that point in time that brought you to cryptocurrency?
I mean, at that point, it was just honest, making some money, and hopefully quickly and effortlessly. And I think that good things, just I've learned through experience, good things take time, you know. And yeah, it was a little bit of disappointment. I remember getting into Bitcoin, and I bought a little bit of Bitcoin, and then the crash happened, right? The bubble burst, and that was like, oh man, you know, I got into Litecoin and a little bit of Ethereum, and those are like the three main names, you know, back in 2017, really being, you know, spoken about. XRP was like a whisper, at least that I had heard of, but I was looking at the big numbers, and it was like, yo, it's at like 6,000, then it was at like 10,000, and it was like 15,000. I'm like, no, I can't miss this. So it became this FOMO, like fear of missing out. And you know, you realize at that point, I had no idea about the space, let alone how the technology worked, the use case for it. And I think that was most of my friends. You know, we were all like, it was all skepticism and hype. You know, so that's really what it was back for me and my network back in 2017.
Yeah, how many of your friends joined you in investing in the beginning?
I'm gonna say it was quite a few of us. You know, we all worked together. So I used to work retail. You know, so we were in the phone business. You know, I'm not gonna say which carrier, but you know, we were in the phone business. We were in sales, and you know, so we were always talking about technology and innovation, because every other month there was a new phone coming out. We were already anticipating 5G, and it's crazy because 5G felt so far away, and now we have it. So again, it's only a matter of time before these things roll out and get developed and you know, go mainstream.
Right. Yeah. And, the funny thing about, people say do your own research, but I always say this to my wife all the time. We're driving, right? It's like everybody gets a license. Like you get a license. Everyone gets a license. Everyone's not a good driver, right? So like the same thing holds for research. Like do your own research. Like, I don't know. And then next thing you know, they're like sending their wallet address because they're going to get more crypto back. It's like send 100, send 1 ETH here and we'll send you 2 back. Okay. Sounds all, so, and I know that, I know David Schwartz had said this too. He had said something about the line, like, I don't know about that whole do your own research thing. Not everyone's a good researcher. And I know I'm a decent researcher. What's up, Apex? And by the way, Apex put out a tweet tonight that said that, hey, he was going to put together his experience of, what it's like to do research, actually what he does to research. And that plays beautifully into the conversation. And he said, if I put up a blog post kind of explaining what my workflow is, what I do, he didn't get into all that. But he just said, if I put a blog post up that would help people, would you read it? I said, hell yeah, I'd read that. I'd read it all day long because, we need more teachers in the space, especially you go like, well, here's what I do. And you're like, oh, that's cool. And then, wow, I didn't think of that. And, there are some great researchers in this space. There's someone like a Crypto Eddie, or there's someone like there's people that are just really solid on the research side. They go down that rabbit hole deep, like, and this person's connected to that person and that dot's connected to that dot. And then this person knew this person from childhood. And I'm like,
but
I just
some of the problem with that, though, you get some of these YouTube channels that go too far. They go too far and connecting dots that don't exist. And that's also problematic. So like you had mentioned,
secret boxes.
There's different things. And when you go too far, then you end up in an area where you start reading into things. And that's also, that's where it gets dangerous. So you mentioned, anyone can get a driver's license, but not everybody can do the research. And that's important because you can start reading. And some of the things, like you said, Crypto Eddie, she does a great job, but she digs in and she goes, okay, what is, she understands the dynamics of SBI and from a corporate perspective. Then others, you start researching some of the more fringe elements and then start creating, scenarios based on your desired outcome. And that's where, things can get a little bit, sketchy. Yeah. A little dicey. Yeah.
A little bit sketchy.
Sketchy.
Cristian, what do you think about this? Can we hit an all-time high with this SEC v. Ripple lawsuit dragging on? Is that possible? Can you think we're to see something like that?
I think it's possible. Anything's possible, but
what do you think though? Let's give it the Christian viewpoint. I mean, like if you said like, hey, yay or nay, I mean, your thoughts trending more towards a yes, like we can blow past 384.
I'm gonna say yay. I go with yay. I think people are more, informed than they were back in the previous bull run, right? Let's just go again to like, the hot topics, trends on Twitter, and people are really excited about this. This is really, I think the pandemic changed a lot of people's perspective about what you take for granted and not wanting to like stay behind and miss out on an opportunity because you don't know what's promised. Nothing's promised, like I'm sure a lot of people never imagined a lockdown or restrictions on travel. I mean, places that said, hey, we won't take cash anymore. Like we don't want to touch a bill because we don't know where it came from and for the health and safety of our employees, this and that. So, I mean, going back to why people would probably continue to invest and buy is because people are getting informed these days. So now people know about crypto. They may not be well informed, but they're informed nonetheless. So for the majority of people, I think they're going to continue to buy.
That's great, man. I want to throw this out there, but I started laughing because sometimes people put funny stuff in our chat, and it's like, so XRP Speedboat, appreciate that 1111. That's the trademark right there. OTC and XRP #1. Thank you for your insight, Cristian. So that's XRP Speedboat.
Yeah,
really appreciate that comment.
That. Hey, Chip, I wanted to put this one up. I was going to put this one up first just because I thought it was funny and then flip over to that one. But hey, what do you think about cassettes?
I think they're great, man. No, so it was funny. So Cristian, the other night it came up and I saw a story that there were more cassettes. Like cassettes had the biggest year like in 20 years. And I'm thinking to myself, pandemic? I mean, I don't know. People found cassette players in their house. I mean, they had old Walkman. I couldn't figure it out, but I just brought it up. It had nothing to do with crypto. And we got derailed talking about music and cassettes for a while. So that's why they bring up I have a tendency to derail a conversation off on a completely useless topic. And then Jeff had a mishap with his mic. You want to show Cristian what that looked like, that little mishap you had with your mic? We'll just
mishap? I don't know what you're talking about.
The me.
I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to get to it and just buy myself time because I'm not in the right
so that apparently
here.
was semi-epic. By the way, that's gonna. So his mic did that for about 2 minutes. So we made a little movie of it that we play a little bit here and there. So anyway, yeah, man.
Man, it's interesting. I've been following this space like a hawk. It's interesting. You bring up, your friends, getting into it, and I've been helping a couple of my friends get into crypto recently. They're seeing the movement in the space. They're getting excited. Everybody has their point to get in on something. Not everybody gets in super early. We see, Michael Saylor sat on the sidelines for a long time. Then he put in at 10,000. Then he bought in at 20,000. I think he's averaging on his Bitcoin around 25,000. He didn't have to be early, but he has deep pockets. So he put his billion in and he's returned about 4.5 billion, which is, pretty good. I wouldn't,
sounds like a good day to me, Jeff.
Not a bad deal. Everyone's got their investment time, but I'm looking at this and XRP at $1.35. I think it went up to like $1.40 something, 45, 46 earlier. But then I'm looking at this number 3 coin, BNB, currently sitting at $522. And the other day it was like 300 something, then it was like 4 something, and now 522. I'm just stunned that BNB's at 522. Some of these assets make a lot of sense. Others just are just a little bit confusing. What are your thoughts on that one, Cristian? I mean, are you diversified in any of these exchange assets like a BNB? And what do you think about that BNB coin?
I mean, it's making noise, it's been popping up on Twitter every other day and people going nuts. Personally, I'm not a fan of exchanges. I hold my assets in cold storage. I'm a big ledger guy. I'm an advocate for not your keys, not your crypto. Ledgers have their place, but for me, I can't speak for anyone else. I'm not a fan of exchanges, until I feel like we have regulations and there's a certain level of protection that you could get offered as an investor. That's when I kind of may look at exchanges a little more closely, but I'm not a fan.
All right. Hey, let's talk about this one. Let's talk Doc Column. Talk about adjusting to the swings in price over the last 4 years and not selling in spite of it. Chip, I think this is probably one of the biggest. This is one of the biggest points that anyone makes, and a buddy of mine asked me the same thing yesterday. He goes, how long are you into this thing? For me, when I first got in, I was looking at a 5-year timeline. Also, Cristian, like you, I got in 2017. I had seen Bitcoin and researched Bitcoin in 14, but my time to get in wasn't until 17, but I put a 5-year timeline on it. But what, Doc Collins' point, I mean, it's so, relevant because those ups and downs, and how do you ride that roller coaster? And you were on the roller coaster ride getting in 17 and, going over that wave and seeing what the bottom was like as you rolled the wave, all the way back down again. It's there's a lot to that and hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
What was that feeling?
Buy the dip, man. It's what are you gonna do? It's like I see these funny memes all the time. They said buy the dip and it keeps dipping, and then but you got to look at your overall average, right? Some people, again, they're trying to get in and get out in like a month, or they're trying to get in and get out in 6 months. But don't tie up money. Don't tie up your rent money. I had somebody kind of talk about they had money for a house that, they cashed out on their second property. They had the money in cash. They didn't want to put it into, savings because it's not yielding anything. However, it's a couple and they're talking about putting all of the money into crypto until they're ready to buy the next house. And I just that could go good, or that could go not so good. So again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just
you
a
were.
guy
That's
from New
weird.
York. But
that's weird. I thought you were telling me you're fine. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, Chip. What are your thoughts on that one, man? It's tough, right? It's
Well,
tough
I'll tell you. Well, see, with my friends and stuff, it's like I basically called it. One of my colleagues, I said, look, man, I go, can I just say something? He's like, yeah. I go, do with what you want to do with it. I said, look, man, I really like you. I think, and I'm going to lay this on you. XRP is going to go places. It's under 25 cents right now. Buy what you can. Don't buy it. Up to you. Completely up to you. I want to have the conversation. I want you to know about it. So do what you will. What exchange do I buy it on? And now, now I'm hitting him with, it's $1 now. It's $1. But, the thing is, my own brother, my younger brother is like this. He would send me like these weird tests like XRP to the moon. And it was like 17 cents, XRP, So it does get a little bit difficult when people, especially people close to you, your family and stuff, start, bagging all over you like, yeah, Chip, you told me, he's the XRP guy. Oh, he's the, the guy that got me into this thing back in 2013, the BTC Maxi. He sent me a meme. It's a fantastic meme the other day. It didn't age very well, but it's like, I can laugh about this stuff because I don't care, really. I quite honestly do not care because I knew what, you talk about the research, but Jeff and I have been all over this. We know what the partnerships are. Yeah, they have over 400 banks. Do we know about them? We probably can't even come up with 25 or 50 of them because of non-disclosures. A lot of them aren't pulling the trigger just because of the time. But I'm like, I know. And so even my wife, she said, I'm like, did you think XRP was it is? She goes, honestly, no. Did you think I was crazy? Yeah, I thought you were a little crazy. So my wife even said like, she didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And you go like, oh, okay. It's like, so look at this right here. It says, you don't know if you can see that, but it says,
that's your new car. Nice.
Yeah, it says finally some profits after months of investing in XRP. I was able to buy my first cappuccino. My BTC Maxi buddy said that to me.
My first cappuccino. That's funny.
I saw the car and I was like, oh, that's all. Oh, wait a minute. My first cappuccino.
Hey, but Chip, here's a takeoff of what we're talking about on that also. And it's very relevant because I still see tweets and videos talking about, your exit strategies, or, they're talking about their exit strategies. And what are you going to do when you exit? My perspective on this, and my perspective has changed a little bit as the space has developed, but we're now seeing the entire world shift into a digital economic fiat, whatever, move away from fiat into, digital currency, whether it's going to be crypto or it's going to be CBDCs or whatever. But the whole world is shifting in this direction. Is it now pertinent to even think about an exit strategy? Do you exit back out to fiat, or do you, figure out a way to move your money around and put it somewhere smart, to where you're gaining and letting your money now work for you? There's all these DeFi projects, there's staking projects, there's Celsius platforms where you can move your digital assets, maybe move them around a little bit, leverage the other assets, maybe put it into something stable like a USDC that's now paying 10.5% interest, on a Celsius or on one of these other platforms. But why would you pull it out and put it back into fiat? All these exit ramp ideas don't make a lot of sense. What are your thoughts, Chip? You and I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Let me get your feedback on that one. I think it would be interesting. And I would love to hear, Cristian's thought on that.
Exit strategy for me, this space is so new, and honestly, this space isn't going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's here to stay. So the fact that someone could look at this and kind of say, oh, this technology is going to be useless in like 10 years. No, you're at like the start. Like, think about the Industrial Revolution, right? And where we're at now. I always go back to history, because history will teach you a couple of things. You look back at when things started, and maybe the people that were at the very beginning had a limited scope, a limited vision of what innovation looks like. Innovation means you take something and you build on it. And that's all that's going to happen. They're going to continue to build on these preliminary projects. They might be new. Some projects are still getting developed, but guess what? Crypto's here to stay. You know, it is what it is. My children and my grandchildren are probably going to be, you know, making their purchases using digital assets, you know, cryptocurrencies, and whether that's being leveraged against, you know, some they're holding it somewhere, and you know, you borrow against it, or you actually sell it in real time, however it's developed in the next decade or so. That's the technology, and it's only going to improve from there. So I don't see us going back to like the old school way, the old school financial system. So an exit strategy would literally just limit you. Yeah, you'll have some money up front, but how long is that going to last?
Not long, man. Not these days. Not with inflation. You're right. That's actually that's an interesting take. You know, well, one of the things that I'm really excited about, obviously, is Flare, right? So Flare is going to kind of change that too, because you'll be able to do some staking and create some F assets. Now, the other one that's exciting, the announcement that's coming out tomorrow, is this was a tweet that was put out by the founder of OneChain, is that they're bringing XRP into that DeFi space. So we're going to be able to take advantage as XRP holders. And I try to dig a little bit into it, try to find some information, and still, you know, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but, you know, this is exactly what Jeff is, you know, kind of, and Cristian, what you guys are talking about is like, yeah, okay, well, if I can stake it, but it's my crypto, right? I go stake it over here, or I go mint other assets over here. You're now using your asset, which you know, or you're giving some voting or governance on, but you're not getting rid of it. You know, you're not like cashing it in, so to speak. So I think this right now, like the OneChain, is pretty exciting, because now there's a couple different apps that they offer, and I can't wait for more info to kind of like spill out on this, because I know the CEO sort of spilled the beans the other night. He was like, wow, you know, we have this thing, and I was like, whoa, what is this all about? And there's a couple articles here and there, but that's where we're going to be doing. That's where we're going to be hanging out. You know, it's more of these type of projects.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, I just wanted to give Michael McDaniel a quick shout out over here. He said, the night I found the Bank of America patent and Ripple back in 2019, that was the exact night I knew the space was legit. I never would have expected it to be covered by CNN. Was a little worried for about a month or so, you know, and it's interesting, because that gets back to also the legitimacy of these different projects. And Chip, you're talking about, you know, the OneChain, and you know, there's mention of Flare, and there's all these things that are developing off that are utilizing the XRP ledger and tying into XRP, the digital asset, and it builds legitimacy. One of the things that we're talking about also is that as you get some of these bigger players, the bigger players themselves are adding, you know, more legitimacy to the mainstream, you know. So, you know, I think Michael's also, you know, very, you know, spot on with that assessment, and it really fits into, you know, the narrative that we're talking about.
What's weird about that, Jeff, is I was just saying that to my wife today. I said, you know what? And I couldn't remember the year. I said it was a while ago. It might have been a year or two ago, but somebody dug up a patent. It was so funny, because I used to go, but I couldn't remember quite the details, because she was saying, well, what banks in the U.S.? I said, well, Bank of America. I said, well, Bank of America probably doesn't use it. I go, they probably don't. They maybe never, but they have a patent on it. They have a patent where they talk about XRP, and it's part of their patent. And I was like, so that's so weird that you bring that up, man. It's like something that comes up. I mean, just guys, I wanted to show this because let me just share my screen really quick, and hopefully it doesn't go crazy. I saw this article, and I thought to myself, holy cow, what's going on? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this article.
Nice. Perfect. Well, I like that white space.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this is one of these things. It won't let me blow it up, Jeff.
There you go. The picture.
But anyway, but it says XRP price shoots upward as Ripple wins case against the SEC. I was like, what? Yeah, XRP enjoyed an incredible price shoot over the weekend. It's become the best performing cryptocurrency. Ripple has won a discovery case against the SEC.
That's just dangerous reporting.
I mean, dangerous reporting. But then I did see this here, guys. So I said Inside Bitcoin. So I don't know what they know about. Like, it's not a case. I mean, this whole thing is journalistic malpractice. I'm like, what? And like people, I'm like, a case against the SEC, and this is why there's a price jump, Jeff. That's what they're trying to go on here. Look at Ripple's victory weekend. Besides XRP's exemplary performance, Ripple also had a great weekend. The company won a lawsuit against the SEC. They filed the case. Look, where they alleged. I'm like, awesome. What is? Anyway, that's just silliness. It's silliness.
Fake news.
Fake news is right, man. Yeah.
Tony said maybe I should take control of the screen, Chip.
No, man. No way. I'm not going to allow it. But you know what it is? Sometimes these articles, but yeah, so I had a tweet about this journalistic malpractice, man. Well, you know what it is I have instant Zoom. You want to know why, Jeff? I'm on a Mac.
You're using a Mac, and instant
I'm on
Zoom
a Mac, and
doesn't play well with Chrome.
Place you'll come over from the dark side at one of these times, and that's where.
Never.
Hey, by the way, Cristian, may I ask what computer you're using?
I'm using a MacBook.
Damn right you are. You see what I'm saying? You got the newer one too, man. And I was like, man, Jeff, see,
I have apples at home.
Yeah, but man, you don't have the
They're in the refrigerator.
No, man. No, once you go Mac, never go back, my friend. It's the greatest thing in the world. But believe me, I struggled early days of the web where I was when I was doing coding front end stuff, and man, it was back then you had to do everything on a PC, flip over to this for doing graphics on a Mac, and I had like a switcher and multiple screens, and it was just what a pain.
Man, check this out.
What's your finance?
45,000.
Jeez.
Is that all, Jeff? Seems a little bit low.
Remember, it went up to 30, then dipped down to 20, then was 18. Now 45,000. Look at the sell token for Celsius up to $7. That's moving nice. We already looked at the BNB coin at 523. But man, lots of interesting things going on. Hey, where's my screen?
See, Jeff, should I take control? Should I take control of it again?
Can you take control, please? No.
Look at
zoomed in.
Hendon says he has pears. So there you go. You see, everybody has something. There was that TV show that my daughter used to watch, and instead of having the apple on it on the computer, it was a pear. I don't remember which one it was. One of these Disney Channel ones where the parents are all stupid and dumb and can't function. You know, it's like the kids are the smartest people, and you know what I'm talking about, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Chip's imagination coin is bottomed out. Not yet, man. I haven't even minted it yet. It's all new.
It's being minted in your head right now as we speak. So
iCarly, that was it. Mel G says it was iCarly. It was iCarly. It was iCarly. It had the pair on the computer. You see, we have the smartest people around. You know what I mean? They know what's going on.
Okay, so one of the purposes of digital assets and what we're seeing, there was a lot of discussion over banking the unbanked or the underbanked and bringing an opportunity, for some real strong economic gains to people all over the world. Cristian, you brought up your family being from Honduras and sending money back, remittance payments back to Honduras. And, it's interesting because, we really get into this idea that in the digital asset space, as you're, an opportunity to give people all over the world some chance to build and participate in this broader economy, whether just as a user or as a developer, designer. It's no longer tied to those, elitists out in San Francisco, where they think that everything has to, all the software and website, all that stuff has to take place over there. It's a global phenomenon within the digital asset space. But one of the things that you brought up really resonates, in Honduras, trying to send money, back to family in Honduras, because it happens all over the world. And one thing that I've been focusing in on for a while now is what's happening over in Lebanon. And the economy in Lebanon has really taken a horrible turn, for the worse. And, there's different perspectives on what's happening over there. One of them is, all over the world, you have a lot of foreign workers. Lebanon, a lot of in the Middle East, you travel around the Middle East, and you get a lot of foreign workers. But now in Lebanon, because their economy is crashing, the foreign workers are suffering and no one cares about them over there because, they're making like $5 an hour still existing in Lebanon. They're able to send money back. But now they're making significantly less, or they don't have jobs. And the financial crisis over in Lebanon is just horrible. But the banks were crashed. There was a run on the money, a run on the banks. And then you take it a step further, and this really gets into being able to put the control of money, let people bank and be their own banks. But you look what's happening over in Lebanon right now. You look at this, foreign lenders are cutting ties with Lebanon's central bank. And so when we talk about foreign lenders, you're talking about like HSBC, Wells Fargo. You've got, let's see, who else? You've got JP Morgan is in the list. And you've got, BNY Mellon, Citi, Commerzbank, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America. There's a lot of them that are looking at Lebanon and saying, hey, we got to get our money out of there. But what happens to the people when there's a run on the banks and you no longer have faith in the banking system of the country? And so the people of the country are suffering significantly. And you have all these foreign workers that are in the country that are probably going to have to leave and go back home. Okay, that's okay. Let them go back home. But you have a country that's now in, definitely in jeopardy of, significant decline. And, imagine with the digital assets, you have Bitcoin, you have XRP, you have all these other things that these people could be putting their money into right now and really controlling the ebb and flow. What is your experience so far? I mean, you look at what's going on in Lebanon. Very disastrous. How does that compare, to what you've seen in Honduras and other places?
Well, definitely, again, you're going to go to certain countries where the economy is suffering. And part of the reason that the economy is suffering is because you have government that, you can definitely say is unhinged, corrupt. I mean, I was watching a documentary the other day about in Congo in Africa and how they have some of the richest minerals in the world, and yet over 100 million people, and the percentage of poverty there specifically, because I was watching this documentary, is astounding. And you got to say to yourself, wherein lies the problem, right? When you talk about economies, they're closely related to government. And, how do you fix that? How do you fix that? So some people might say you take the revolution route, right? You just, flip things upside down, but it's tough. It's tough. What do you do in a government that says we will ban all cryptocurrency transactions in this country and call it illegal? And if you're found trading or buying or selling in this type of currency, we will press charges against you, criminal charges at that. That's tough. There are some countries that have taken a stance where they do not allow crypto trading in their countries. Some have just said we're not taking a stance. If you do it at your own risk. It won't be backed by the government. We don't have a formal stance. In Honduras, that's exactly their opinion. They don't have a stance when it comes to crypto. So there are no regulations. But you have other places that will limit it. And that's tough. That's really tough when this is becoming part of the global market. There's a lot of money funneling into it, which will not limit you. And if the local economy is suffering, this is a great way to kind of make sure that the little bit of money that you have isn't squandered away with bad practices by local banks. Imagine, right? A bank just says, hey, we're closing our doors, and figure it out, buddy. Imagine that. It happens. And unfortunately, this is why I think crypto has the traction that it has now, because people are sick and tired of being sick and tired when it comes to unlawful practices, bailouts, things that are just not right. You work so hard for the little bit of money that you get, and then you got these big banks that unfortunately can just shut you down and without notice. And who fights for you? You know what I'm saying? It's not like you could call the cops. It's not like you could call 911 and say, hey, the bank won't give me my money. It's like, sorry, buddy, that's a civil problem. So you would hope that, you some way, somehow could recover whatever is being withheld from you or they're holding. But it's a scary thing to think about. How do you fight the power? And Lebanon, what's happening in Lebanon it's definitely a crisis.
Yeah.
You said it really good. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I think that that's why, I don't think the comparisons are really that fair to the 2017, 2018 bull run when we saw, Bitcoin go up to touch 20,000, just because of what you had mentioned earlier, the whole idea of being locked up and, just like not like this whole thing, everything was so new. You just started looking at every decision you made, right? You started looking like with a magnifying glass, like, let's see. Normally you'd be just like, yeah, I'll do blah, blah, but everything was different. The rules had changed, like you were mentioning, and so what's different is that people are realizing, hey, I don't trust the bank anymore. I don't trust that buy crypto and leave it on an exchange. I would rather have that here. In the old days, what they did in India was they tried to flesh out those big note bills about 2-3 years ago when they said, okay, well, you bring them all into the bank, or in a month, 30 days are going to be useless. So there were, a lot of people were avoiding taxes because, the old, we'll stuff it under the mattress, type of a scenario, where now people, oh, I got a safe and I've got a little tiny little device where it has everything on there. Oh, and I have a way to to save that if something goes wrong with the technology. And I think that people are starting to take notice, and it's a global phenomenon. That's what I love about this. And what I see that's happening over in other parts of the world is exciting. Usually you get excited about it here, but U.S. Congress is dragging their feet. They're doing all this other stuff, but they're not looking after us. The SEC is not looking after us. Your thoughts on the, how long does this SEC suit drag on? Do you see it going on for a long time? Do you see, there's been a little victories, I guess, but what's your thoughts on, how this might play out?
The courts, if you have a judge that's cooperative, and I think they have level-headed judges. I got to say, from listening to the cases, Judge Torres, Judge Netburn, honestly, phenomenal, in regards to like how they're litigating and going about these proceedings, right? This could end sooner than later. I think that everyone knows, they're aware. They know what's happening. They know the world's talking. They know, Ripple's name and the SEC's name every day is on Twitter. It's a major papers writing about the case. So this isn't something that's under the rug. It's out on the open. And right now, I think the public's watching, and they have to tread carefully how they go about representing a government institution, right? When you lose confidence in government, there's a ripple effect there, and so people are not going to have the same support for banks if they don't handle this properly. Government needs banks, and banks need government. They're best friends. So
Cristian, that was well played. You just said you don't trust their
really
government. There's a ripple effect. I was like, wow, I like it. That was crafty, man. There's a ripple effect, man. I'm gonna have to steal that.
I like that too. The governments need the banks. Banks 100% need the governments. I do still believe people also need banks.
People need people, Jeff.
People need people. People need banks. We need that third party as a trust source, third party that's going to be that mechanism when we're buying goods that are going to provide for mortgages, they're going to provide for car leases and loans and business loans and all of that. The dynamics of what's happening right now is shifting. And there's article after article after article that fintech is a direct threat to banks. Digital assets and DeFi also a direct threat to banks, but DeFi on its own need the fintechs, or they need the lack of brick and mortars. They need the Celsiuses of the world. Mm-hmm. They need, the Coinbases of the world and the Upholds of the world to pull it together to give the one location that people can go to as a trusted, valuable source to where they can then get their banking. So banking is always going to exist. It's just shifting as to who our bank will become. And we're seeing in Lebanon, like we're saying, HSBC, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, all these banks are basically pulling out, and now, we bring this all up, man, everything is shifting dramatically. Can't rely on the SEC, can't rely on the U.S. Congress. Now, imagine this case. Argentina, so their central bank is now demanding. Their central bank is demanding, not requesting. I don't know, maybe they're requesting, but they basically want everybody's personal information if you are trading crypto. Now, this is now taking things to another level, to where it gets a little bit too in-depth and personal. But look, the Central Bank of Argentina has requested that all banking institutions in the country submit information about customers who have carried out any transaction with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies or hold crypto in their digital portfolios. Now, imagine that, Look at this right here. It says President Alberto Fernandez set in motion last year in an attempt to control capital outflows and curb inflation. That's kind of nonsense. That's basically a term for, we're a totalitarian fascist regime and we're following the model of Venezuela, and we're going to control you and destroy you economically, as we curb inflation and stop you from sending your money elsewhere. That's their biggest fear. They know that in order for people to be confident with their money, they're going to, now they have an opportunity. Before it was like, oh, what do I do with my money? I have to put it in the bank, and the bank is going to give you 0.5% interest. But now there's a lack of confidence all over the world. So especially in these countries that we're talking about Argentina, Venezuela, Lebanon, etc., where their own domestic currencies are in flux and inflation is out of control. And, we have to trust ourselves. And this is the one opportunity. And it's amazing.
Jeff, you're touching an amazing point, right? Let's talk about the stimulus that the many stimuluses that we've received in the last year or so. The purpose, again, is to stimulate the economy. But what happens when you have no faith in your local economy, right? You want to put your money elsewhere. Obviously, if I'm going to get more bang for my buck over there, then I'm going to go over there. You understand? Because why would I spend, why would I spend $5 for one orange over here when I can get 5 oranges for $5 over there? What are you getting? And again, the dollar, unfortunately, is your buying power is diminishing significantly. Every time money gets printed out of thin air, people, oh, I'm so happy, they just sent me a check. I'm like, no one worked for that money, and someone has to pay for it. I'm no fool. Like, my taxes are gonna go up. This is nothing to celebrate when in the short term is great, but in the long run it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt even more because the money that I'm losing long term is money that I could have used for my benefit. Getting back an obscene amount of money for tax returns is not a win. That's money that the government's been holding on to and profiting off of. If I'm getting back $8,000 at the end of the year, that's $8,000 that was out of my pocket. And if you think about putting $8,000 at the beginning of last year for this run, right? We're up 445%. Think about the money, the capital you'd be sitting on, but you didn't have access to that. That's money that they're just gonna, hey, thank you, we're rich off of you, and here you go, here's your 8,000, and guess what? It's not even worth 8,000 anymore. You understand? So it's money from last year, and your buying power from the year before would have been greater than what it is now. So again, people need to open their eyes just a little bit more and realize, we're getting duped.
I wanted to go to this comment right here. Reg says he's really late to the party. You're not late to this. You might be late to this party, but you're not late to the crypto party, Reg. Don't worry. Take a deep breath. It's all going to be cool, man. Everything's going to be all fine. And then this is an important comment, Jeff, that I think you should take a look at. Farouk Bashir says this: Jeff can buy a Mac with his XRP profit. So there you go. You see, I tell you that everyone's looking out for you, Jeff. They're trying to point you in the right way.
I'm not going to buy an overpriced computer. Sorry.
It's not overpriced, man. That's the whole point. You get what you pay for. Ask Cristian. He's got one of those new. What's that processor? What is it called? The M1 processor. M1 processor, man.
I know, they seem to be really cool.
Good stuff.
But once you get into the Apple culture, it's hard to get out. It's like a computer cult.
But I will say this: that Apple will not open the phone of terrorists because of privacy concerns. Google will flip on you faster than you can say good morning. and they will they will expose the daylights out of you. So there is that. Apple has a smidgen better, a smidgen. It might be like pink, one of these, but that's about
true.
it, man. That is about it.
That is true. I think Microsoft and Google have already opened the doors. I think it's already too late for that.
Okay, so Reg cleared it up. He says he was talking to a friend, so he's late to the stream. That's all right, Reg. We'll give you. You're always here, man. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? So, HBI put a nice. Look
at that,
Jeff. I was like you, but I can't see myself. You see, Jeff, that my brother called me and openly wept. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me? I've been telling you for years, man." He goes, "Everything just works. There's no drivers. There's no this. Look at this right here." I'm now saying instead of home basic income, HBI. HBI says we are all early in. Don't sell. Wait and watch. The financial system is transforming in front of our eyes. Banking services will always be in demand. Hold tight. I think that's really good advice. And I'm sure HBI is probably not a financial advisor, although you never know. Maybe that's good financial advice anyway. But Apple's looking out for the little. Oh, Oscar's chiming in now. You see what's happening, man?
I see.
By the way,
we've got a revolt happening here.
Man, don't mess with Apple, man. Don't play. Don't play. I don't like everything they do. Believe me, I was a big Steve Jobs fan back in the day, but you know, I still think right there. Think different. You see, Moto Yoda knows. Moto Yoda knows.
Going straight to Linux.
Good morning. I'm Google, and I just flipped on you. Should have got a pair. Man, you guys make me laugh. Well, listen, I wanted to give you last words. We're going to be wrapping this up. Cristian, it was really great getting to know you on the Clubhouses. Thank you for making me a mod over there. I really appreciate everything you're doing for the space because I sometimes go in there. I just want to listen. I don't always want to talk, and people pull me up, and I just want to be in the background listening. But I wanted to say, you know, it's great that you're spreading the news, and the more we have out there. And guys, if you want to look in the description. You can go follow Cristian on Twitter. Also, there's a link to the XRP Community Club over on Clubhouse. And if you need an invite, you just direct message me on Twitter. I have a bunch of invites. I try to get everybody set up. If you guys want to get over there and join that club, really would appreciate that. But I want to give you the final word, Cristian, and I'm just kind of wrapping this up as we head out to start our week.
No, awesome, man. So happy to be here with you guys. We appreciate it. You know, all the love, all the support. I think the XRP community is like phenomenal. You know, just people that want to see other people win. And we're just here to continue to, you know, lift each other up. It's so important to continue to spread the news and let people know, hey, look, things are changing. Times are changing. You know, don't get left behind. And if you care about your friends, your family, then, you know, help them out. You know, I set my mom up. I set my dad up with an account. They both have digital assets. They may know nothing about it, but you know what? While they're here, I want to see them win in the sense. So your family, your friends, the people closest to you, you know, talk to them. And yeah, my motto is you could bring people to the water, but you can't make them drink. But at least bring them to the water, you know, and eventually maybe you started drinking way before them, you know, but eventually they'll take a little sip and see, wow, I've been missing out. But, you know, it's not too late. I tell people all the time, if you got into XRP at $1, you're still winning. You know, some people feel like, right. Oh, no, I didn't get in at 25 cents. I didn't get in at 40 cents. I'm like, bruh, look at the price. It's still a great time to get in. And when you look back in 3 to 5 years, you're going to be so grateful that you started now. You understand? Yeah. There's going to be guys that are going to say, oh, man, I just got in at 100. And they're going to be stoked. And you're going to say, wow, right. I got in at $1. I got in at $4. And I was thinking that I was late to the party. You're not late. You're early. And you're right on time. So, you know, just God bless and everyone stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves and your family.
That's great, Cristian. Well said. I wonder if it's going to be fire water you drink. A little fire water in your belly there. Look, HBI says, thank you, Cristian. Got a lot of people saying stuff. Solid gold. Yeah, so look at this right there. My mom's 72. She invested in XRP with me. She's in for a shocker. The best thing I heard out there, XRP is going to melt faces. I love that saying. It's just so fun. It's going to melt faces. you know. But anyway, that's all I have. I want to thank everybody for being here. Cristian, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us. I look forward to, seeing you over on the Clubhouse there. And like I said, if anybody, look at this, $1.87 Australian right there. There's Ali G. What's up, Ali G? Good to see you. So thank you very much for everybody being here. Jeff, go ahead. You want to?
Yeah, I just want to say, Cristian, this was awesome. It was great meeting you. Great having you on the show tonight. The conversation we had tonight, super engaging. I think it's extremely helpful, for everybody in this space, hearing your thought process and your feedback on this. I'd love to have you back on again. I think we have this hour went by way too quick. I felt like we started and it was over. So we got to schedule you to come back on. And to that point, early to the game, people are always going to be early. But like you said, spot on. This space is growing. We haven't even seen, the top of this right now. Imagine even with the Bitcoin at 60,000, people at 20,000 said, hey, you know what, that's the top of Bitcoin. XRP hit $3.60, $3.70, 80 cents, whatever the top was. Now XRP is starting to run. Ethereum is seeing tops right now. XLM, stellar at 60 cents, and that's, getting ready to run. We're talking about BNB. That was $10 at the bottom. Now it's $522. So you're never, you can never say you're too late. And there's always going to be new projects coming in as well. So as this, you're going to diversify. There's going to be something amazing that comes up, as we progress, just like with stocks and companies. On the XRP, we're just getting going. I'm fired up. You brought up some great points. I appreciate everybody being in here with us tonight. As always, we stream Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do have another meetup coming up.
Virtual.
We'll announce that virtual meetup, right? Virtual meetup. We'll announce that hopefully this week. We'll pick a date for it towards the end of the month. We got a lot of other things that we're working on too. We'll start announcing those things. And until then, we'll see everybody tomorrow night, because tomorrow's another night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here.
On the chain.
On the
chain. And stick around, right, Cristian? Past this outro. And guys, we'll see you. Have a good one. Enjoy your week.
Go.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.